1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Lay It on the Table, the Southern Board Game Podcast with the accent on Southern. It is a balmy July Sunday, and I am one of your hosts, Joe Mahaffey, joined by my partner in crime,
James Englehart, where it's also balmy here in South Carolina.
Well, you know, I was really glad to walk outside today and find out it was still humid. I was worried.
And it's not cresting 90 at 10 in the morning either, so that's nice.
Well, it always makes my hair curl.
I can see that. Yeah. That's why we call you Curly. Yeah.
Yes. I feel like I should put my fingers between your eyes with that. I don't know. Anyway. Well, James, I got to tell you.
Yes.
I am the lazy podcaster no more.
Good.
After our last session, and I said, I'm going to put this out and then I'll get out the other episodes. You'll notice I got all the episodes out.
Yes.
And I was able to do that because of the wonderful people at Riverside.fm, the people that we produce our podcast with. They have a lot of AI tools, which are nice. But more importantly, we now are hosting through them, meaning all of our audio
is all through them.
They're making a lot of things happen automatically behind the scenes. So once we're done, I should be able to go click, publish.
Awesome.
No more of even if you fall off a little bit, which sometimes happen.
Yeah.
But
it hasn't in a while. I've been staying right at the edge of the cliff, but not falling over for a while.
There you go. You've been doing a good job. I've been very proud of you.
Thank you.
So anyway, I just wanted to kind of get that out there. So to the one or two consistent listeners out there, you can now bank on this. I'm talking to you, Ben Griffith.
Ben Griffith, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Who's out playing pinball apparently this afternoon. So
you know, what was all that medical training for?
Pinball.
There you go. Anyway, wow, we just said a lot about Ben Griffith, didn't we?
Still not a sponsor. Yeah.
Still not a sponsor. We should have him on sometime, like, you know.
Hey man, ask us questions. Yeah.
I'm the lazy listener. So I got a couple of things to talk about. So first and foremost.
Yes, sir.
Still haven't had an opportunity to play a game, but
fair enough.
Our construction is finally coming to an end. They got the last of the siding on yesterday, Saturday. The inspector is coming out tomorrow, Monday, to hopefully sign off and everything and give us a certificate of occupation.
Awesome.
And at that point, we will be able to start putting our lives back together. In fact, it's the bonus room is so nice. I think we may start playing games in there. I don't know on what table because I'm not taking my game table in there. So I'll have to figure that out.
All right.
This just may have to be a D&D room now and let that room be the game room.
That sounds, it's a beautiful room. So it would make sense.
And I think if we had people over, they would much more enjoy being in that room than out here in the dungeon.
All the old Apple Mac there is super fun.
Yeah, but you don't see that unless you're sitting in this chair. So, but I did want to just kind of point that out. Hopefully we'll be able to get to some games here, but I do have a few things to talk about. So last time we were on the podcast, I was sharing with everybody that I was going to be doing the 13 Colonies radio event. I did get all 13 colonies. It was not easy. It was really not easy because Rhode Island was a very difficult get.
Okay. Just because there are very few ham people there?
No, it just has to do. So they could broadcast on any way they wanted to. So it could be Morse code, which is what I was really trying to do. It could be radio, like phone, like we're talking here, which I got one or two on those, I believe.
Cool.
And then the third option is what is known as digital.
Okay.
Because you can send a digital signature or signal rather almost all the way around the world on very little wattage.
Okay.
And you can get a signal report. That's basically what you get out of it. And so there were a couple different ways to go about it, but I was able to finally break through last week on like Sunday, I guess it was. I got the final two. Plus I got a bonus. There was a guy in Pennsylvania whose call sign, I think I mentioned it last time, was basically William Penn. It's like WM3. I got him early on. So he was like, okay, I got one. That's a bonus you can use if you don't get all 13. You only have 12. But I got the 13 plus him. And I got one guy, I think it was, I can't remember what state it was. I'm going to say it was New Hampshire. I could be wrong, but I ended up getting that state twice because I wasn't really sure if I got him the first time, but I for sure got him the second time on Morse code. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to log them both.
Sure.
So anyway, that
Well
was
done. Congratulations.
hey, it was gamified,
Yeah.
little crazy there.
And you got the bonus and the whole 3 different ways of doing it. So like many different sets being collected there.
Yeah, and it's a nice thing you can do it every year. So now I kind of know what I'm in for and kind of has set it up. But it was just interesting because everybody and their brother was trying to get them, so there was a lot of noise.
Sure.
You're trying to break through, and I have 200 watts at my disposal.
Okay.
Most people have 100 watts. There are some people out there with 500 watts or 1,000 watts, but that means you're dropping some serious coin on ham radio equipment. I mean, 1,000-watt amplifier is about $5,000.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Whereas most ham radios probably, I mean, you can get some Chinese versions for about $500 and then go up from there.
So a literal order of magnitude.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But anyway, enough about ham radio. That's not what this podcast is about, but the gamified part of it was. So,
yeah. but we're living in 2 of the original colonies, so it's all good. We're playing games in those 2 colonies.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
A number of them were Southern.
Indeed.
Like half of them, maybe. All but Florida, maybe.
Yeah.
Didn't have Alabama yet, or Tennessee. That was early on. But I have been paying attention to a number of things. Number one, I don't know if I can call him a friend of the show. I can call him an interviewee of the show.
Sure.
Jamie Stegmeyer has been very, very busy.
He has been a busy boy. That is true.
And he's got some games coming on the horizon, a number of which caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
One of which more notable than other. And that is the pending release of Wingspan Pocket.
That definitely got my attention when I saw that email. Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe it will be released this week for pre-order.
Yeah. I think the 14th, 16th, something like that.
Yeah, it's usually on a Wednesday, so that would be the 15th. Okay. But I don't know. We'll double check. I mean, he's going to let us know, but yeah, I'll be ready for that one. It's a lighter, swifter version of the game, and it's very pocket size. As you know, Dale and I will travel every now and again, and we take with us the games, and we typically take Wingspan. So I'll be curious to see if we just decide, you know what, I'm just going to do Wingspan Pocket.
I've been looking at this. I like the ways that it kind of like you just have one row, and the how many birds you have in there is the timer for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I like the tension. I always love the tension between, do I play this card for the thing on one side, or do I use it for the thing on the other? So play it as the bird or play it as the resource. Like lots of good, tasty choices for this version, I think.
And I agree with you. And I think it would be really interesting if we could get Jamie back on the podcast, or quite frankly, I'd like to get Elizabeth, because, she has done, Elizabeth Hargraves, the designer of Wingspan, for the uninitiated. She's got a very cool card game called Tussie Mussy.
Mm-hmm.
And we love playing Tussie Mussy. It was one of the games we played. It was the 13 or the 12 games of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because it was fast and good, good play. And I kind of wonder, she started out Wingspan as a card game, and Jamie made it a little bit more, as we learned in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Wingspan Pocket. I wonder how much of Wingspan Pocket goes back to her original intent.
Yeah.
And I wonder, given that she's done Tussie Mussy, if this is just not a passion project for her in that regard.
Well, it also fills a nice niche, if you will, in the ecosystem of the spans, in being small, even more accessible, faster, and the size, just, it looks great, right? I mean, I don't remember what the price point is, but it shouldn't be too crazy, and just moving a lot more product. And again, I would like to take Wingspan on the road, but it's a lot to pack up, and I think it's going to feel very Wingspan flavored, but very much on the road accessible. So looking forward to this one a lot.
I mean, I can see myself in a park doing a Parks on the Air with my wife and playing Wingspan Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That? Bringing it all together.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited about this because it's just, Dale and I are always looking for games that work well with 2 players, which I think this one will.
It looks like it should, yeah.
But it also says 1 to 5 players in the traditional Wingspan genre.
Stone Meyer kind of does this too. Yep.
But I love the 2-minute setup.
That's
25 to 35 minutes play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that fits us because I'm always saying, well, we didn't get a chance to play. And
right.
a lot of the things when we're in this kind of mode of this season of our lives where all of a sudden we're very busy and it impacts our ability to play games. We when we do play a game, we gravitate to the ones that are easy to set up and don't take forever to play. If we can say, well, we don't have an hour, but we have 30 minutes.
Do that.
And it's only 2-minute setup.
Yeah. Lay out some cards, flash the eggs around, and away you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So very excited by this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance to look at the other announced game?
So the other side of the teeter-totter, yeah.
Would you like to introduce it?
Sure. So, and one of the things that got me interested in this one is I originally kickstarted Scythe back in the day.
Okay.
And
I knew that.
Yep. So
I've kick this to you.
Got the basic, all of the original expansions as they came out, and huzzah. But then we've got Duel, and then what is it? Expeditions came out, and I was like, well, that's cool, but I'm not sure. And now we've got Duel of Melak, which is a way to sort of bring Expeditions and Scythe together, which is just, I don't know that I've seen a company do anything like this. Like, we got 2 different games. You know what? They're close enough. Let's just lock them together and go head to head. It's hilariously bizarre. But this one also, 5 minutes of setup, much heavier, 45 minutes of play for just 2 players.
Right.
And you also get new Scythe materials, and you get new Expeditions materials all at one go. So I'm like, oh man, do I need the extra new Scythe stuff? Probably not. But if I had both of these, I would, this would be the way to bring it together and just have a great time.
I'm not as of right now. I have to always caveat these things because sometimes I say things with absolute, authority, and then I end up, coming back and saying, well, yeah, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
As of right now, this one doesn't speak to me as much as the first one. And the thing is, we love Scythe.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a while to get into Scythe because we were like, oh, it's a war game. We don't want to play a war game. We want a game.
And it certainly isn't.
No. And so we learned Scythe, and we got Expeditions, and we like them, but I think we like them enough separately that we don't need to bring them together. I could be wrong, but now that's the thing that I would say. But on the other hand, it's a 1 to 2 player game.
Yeah,
and we're looking for 2-player games, but we're also looking for a game that you don't have to be mean to each other in order to win. So with the name Duel, you don't know what that really entails.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm certainly going to give it a more of a looky-loo than but just giving you my first impression, because we can't, as much as I'm a Stone Meyer fanboy, I can't suck up to everything. I got to at least be somewhat cautious.
Exactly. No, but there's a ton of stuff in the box. It looks like, including of course the Automa and all of that. But yep. So, and that's going to be, well, that said June. So, update on June. So, release date this week as well. So,
yep.
Just in time for Gen Con as well.
Well, I think that was probably part of his plan. And, I don't know if you are. I'm registered as a champion.
You are. That's correct.
Because I'm basically prepaying for shipping is pretty much all I'm doing.
That's good
when I do that. But it's worthwhile, I think. If I wasn't buying the games he was coming out with on a pretty consistent basis, I would think it was a waste of money, but I think it is a worthwhile subscription.
No, that makes sense.
And I get a really cool badge on my Board Game Geek.
Oh, okay.
Like you didn't think you'd get stuff for this. Granted, it's digital and you can't take it anywhere, but you're Board Game Geek, but
still, dresses a man up a bit, so that's good.
There you go. Yeah.
And then we've got this other one I see.
Yeah. So, in the canon of the Mahafis playing games, there are 3 games that are the bedrock of that canon. The
All
first one
right.
is the first one is Wingspan, which we've already talked about ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is Parks, which we have talked about ad nauseum.
Also good.
The third is the one and only Isle of Cats by City of Games, Frank West out of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And those publishers, you know, are kind of our foundational bedrock of gaming, of the kinds of games that we like. And we have the entire, and I mean the entire catalog of Cats. For somebody who has to take, like, you know, 3 antihistamines just for his daughter to come home with her cats, we have a lot of cat games, and they're mostly published under the City of Games. Well, I think Frank has finally figured out. Frank West has finally figured out. Who, by the way, responds very politely and very often to my wife when she posts on his Facebook page or asks questions and makes comments about the game. So
That's sweet.
so if Frank is to Dale as Jamie is to me, how's that? That sounds a little creepy. Maybe I should.
It sounds a little weird, but yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
So Frank has got a brand new Kickstarter out. It is the, you know, I'm just thinking about that video of the island in South America that is a true Isle of Cats that people want to go rescue. I don't know if you remember that news article from about 2-3 years ago. And I wonder if Frank was kind of looking at, wow, South America, that's really kind of cool. I should probably look at that. Hey, what's that below South America? Oh, Antarctica. Hey, Isle of Penguins.
And now I'm thinking of the Benedict Cumberbatch video where he can't pronounce the word penguins. So that's always good too.
And for your Warner Brothers people out there, this is not an island of Batman villains.
Oh,
I know.
See, now that's a disappointment.
No cobblepots were used in the making of this game. So, and in true Frank West fashion, there is the and it's all Kickstarter right now at the moment. So as you go to that Kickstarter, you can just get the game, or just like the cats, you can get the Isle of Penguins Late Arrivals, which will give you more penguins, wooden penguins, as well as fish, because you got to have fish.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And rocks.
Rocks. You have to clear the rocks.
Yep.
And put the eggs out there.
So there's a lot of material there. And if you're just new to gaming or you missed out on the Isle of anything,
it's all available.
It's all available. Everything.
Well done.
So, what's pretty smart.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you want to do. And the game itself, I mean, in his like talk about it is, I've had Isle of Cats out for 7 years, got a lot of feedback. I'm applying the feedback here, which also feels very Stegmaier, feels very much, well, since they're birds, the new Wingspan version, right? The Wingspan Pocket that's got, we're going to speed this up. We're going to trim it down. We're going to make it nice and smooth and quick. And the gameplay looks really intriguing. It really is not a reskin. It's a whole different way to play. And yeah, no, it's definitely on my list of things to keep an eye on here.
And just as a sidebar about Frank West, you know, nicest guy ever. And this is what I mean by that. And I have a similar Jamie story. When we got Isle of Cats and all the different things, one of my Isle of Cats board began to sort of deteriorate. From play.
Okay.
And I sent him a very nice note saying, hey, this board that's described like this on both sides is beginning to kind of come apart. I would love to be able to get a replacement board, and I'd be happy to pay for it. I mean, it's not like it was I didn't pitch it as a quality issue. I pitched it as a love of the game. Therefore,
yeah.
And he doesn't publish the neoprene mats and all that stuff. And I'm very glad that he doesn't, by the way. I'm kind of back and forth on how I feel about that. But so he sent me a replacement board.
Nice.
Shrink wrapped in a completely unopened version of the game.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Just like have some new stock.
Yeah. There you go. Not a problem. And I was in shock.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow.
So that just tells you the kind of guy he is. Similar Jamie story, not quite as successful, but not a bad ending. I was in the game store and we were playing Viticulture, and it was English on one side, and in the game store, if you flipped it over, it was all in German.
Okay.
And the version I had was English on one side and you flipped it over and it was Spanish. But I have a daughter who's fluent in German, and we've had a number of German foreign exchange students. So I was like, oh, how cool would it be to have the German board?
German, yeah.
So that was probably the very first email I ever sent to Stonemeyer.
Okay.
And I got a very nice response. We have looked everywhere. We are completely out. I'm sorry. But it could have just been an email that was never responded to. It could have just been, oh, sorry, sucks for you. They were very nice about it. So
yeah, my early on we played Wingspan a lot for a while, and some of the cards were starting to like get bunched, folded up enough that you're like, oh, I know that's the little owl. Oh, I know that's the right kind of thing. And so I gathered up a bunch of those. I was like, okay, hey, how can I get these? How can I buy another? Can I buy another of these? And they're like, oh no, you can't buy them, but we'll send them to you. Do you need them back? No. Just tell us which birds you need, and there you go. So I didn't get a whole new, copy of Wingspan, but there was no questions. Just, yeah, sure, here you go.
I've bought enough copies of Wingspan to do that. I mean, I think you know this, I keep a backup of every Wingspan game.
I did know that. It's been a while since we've talked about that, but that's right.
Big box I have, it's in a closet. They're all shrink wrapped. They've never been opened. They are the fail safe.
Break in case of emergency, right?
When the zombie apocalypse come and we're bailing out of the house, they're ready to go. It's a go bag.
Got it.
There you go. Last thing, and I'll let you talk about the Gen Con piece, is last time we were on, we talked about Awaken Realms buying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I actually got an email from Awaken Games about that.
Okay.
And I thought this was really this got my attention on a couple of levels. Number one, we had just talked about it. Number two, because they're both European countries, they were politely letting me know that one was acquiring the other.
Oh.
And that my personal information was being transferred, but it was being done so securely under the rules of GDPR, which is the European Union's the framework. So they were obligated to do this. But it was just a reminder, that when you buy a game from somebody in another country, that they have your personal information, and if they happen to be in Europe, they have certain laws that protect you, even if you're not a citizen of the European Union countries.
Nice.
So anyway, just thought that was kind of interesting. Thought I would mention it here.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Are your bags packed? Are you ready to go? Oh, sorry.
I've got like a little bit of time, but yeah, definitely thinking about it, because Gen Con, looking at this, there's Board Game Geek has a running like new games list right now. There's 583 of them, and I'm like checking, do I want to keep a track of that or not? But because there are more than 700 exhibitors and like 13,000 events, I'm just like, I just really want to see and maybe play some games. But it's just fun to kind of dive into that a little bit and say, I just keep looking at how big and massive this production is. I've been to big conventions before, big conferences before, but man, it just keeps going. So really looking forward. It'll be
bigger than poetry conferences.
So there's AWP, the Association of Writers and Writing Programs, gets about between 15 and 20,000 people.
Okay.
And there's lots and lots of there's about 700 plus exhibitors there too, but none of them are like Hachette Games or Asmodee, right? They're much smaller little groups, and it's just going to be and again, they have a lot of events, but not like this, and so many different kinds. It's hard to like look at that list and go, oh, how do I even? So they give you convenient filters to filter down on what you might want, but still, it's a lot to look at.
Yeah, I can imagine. And if you have, what do they call it, decision freeze or decision anxiety?
Yes, analysis paralysis.
Yeah, there you go. So that could be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just want to know what games you're going to bring me back.
Let's chat. We can. I'm happy to be a games mule. That's cool.
Maybe I should just arrange for you to find a big cardboard box to put them in with a FedEx label.
Sure.
Or a UPS label. We're not
either
picky.
One. No.
DHL.
Right. I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah.
Which makes them unhappy every time. Also not a sponsor.
But if you buy something from Europe, odds are,
yeah,
it
comes from them. Yeah.
So, well, I'm very excited for you. We do need to probably think about, you know what though? Here's the thing. Is this your first time ever going to Gen Con?
It is my first time ever going to Gen Con.
You know what? Go to Gen Con. If you see something cool, if you see somebody talk to them, come back and tell the story.
I'm making notes. Yeah.
I mean, you got to soak it in.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of my approach to this whole thing too, is like, I'm just going to go and vibe.
That's great. Just no vibe code. So yeah, no, I think it's great. I'm very excited for you. I wish I could do it this year. Maybe sometime in the future. Maybe. Got to find
They keep doing it.
This summer was not the right summer. At all.
No.
But one day. I'm talking to you, Indianapolis. which is a town I almost lived in.
Wow.
Yeah. Early out of college, there was a job there that I would very seriously considered.
Well,
looked at apartment complexes that offered ice hockey, and I'm like, "Where's the rink?" And they said, "Oh, it'll be outside."
whole different environment. Yeah,
different type of humidity.
The frozen.
So I had another thing in here, and I don't know if this is the right venue for this question or not. But as I was reading through the Stonemeyer Games post, he was kind of documenting a lot of the things that are on the horizon, and one of the things that was in there was a YouTube video of Jamie talking about the top 10 roll and write games in his opinion. And I just have no interest in roll and writes. They don't speak to me. I don't want to buy any. And I'm just kind of curious from your perspective. I don't want to say I don't like them, because I can't, if I've never played something, I can't say I don't like it. But there's nothing about it that speaks to me. And I wanted to kind of get your opinion on it. And, is there something I'm missing, or prove me wrong, as they say?
Yeah. Well, and Stonemeyer during the pandemic had a whole series of roll and writes based on all of their games, right? And I think that series is still going. Yeah.
No, it is. It absolutely is. But even then, it didn't speak to me. I was like, I don't want to do that. I'll just stay here in the house with my wife, and we'll play a game.
We'll play Wingspan and not the bird-based roll and write. So I've played a couple of them, a handful of them. I've played the Gone from Clever, which was kind of fired everybody up. I played On Tour, which is about taking a band across the country. And of course the Ur game of roll and writes, Yahtzee. Hey, which was, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've done that. Two that are still kind of interesting to me is the Super Skill Pinball, because it seems like there's kind of a theme, and you've got a little piece that you're moving around as well, which I think is hilarious, like a half ball. It's bounce. So I love that. And then there's the weird weightiness of Hadrian's Wall, which is a giant thing, and I'm just like, what would that look like? But yeah, I mean, they don't really speak to me that much either. I think they're really great solo, is my sort of take on it. The one that I really do like is a flip and rate called Cartographers, where you're building maps, and it has little pre-printed stuff. And then you can also, the thing that I really like about Cartographers is if you flip one of the cards up and it's a monster, then you trade maps. And so the other person gets to draw the monster on your board to sort of get in your way and to mess with you in one way or another. So I like that about it. And I like the way that it's kind of structured, that it moves quickly. But yeah, I don't know. And I don't know why either. It's sort of, I don't know. It just feels like various versions of Yahtzee. And I know that's not true, and people will disagree with me. But it has that kind of vibe. And I mean, I didn't grow up with traditional card game. Well, I didn't grow up with a traditional trick-taking game. So all of these new trick-taking games that are out, I'm like, okay. So I kind of have a similar kind of feel, like, that sounds interesting. That sounds interesting.
Well, that's an interesting, and a quick little sidebar on this is, when you talk to people and you talk about being games and they talk about a game that you would play with a normal 52 deck of cards,
Right.
whether it's Kings in the Corner or some other variation that
Yeah.
just
Gin,
crazy.
rummy, all those guys. Yep.
Do you kind of go, or do you like, yeah, that'd be great?
So I like ladder climbing and shedding games.
Okay.
So we're kind of, we're talking about sort of gin rummy, all of those that are, lay down sets. And then you have to, so this is not like those exactly, but, you lay down a larger set and then something happens to the previous set that was out there, or you're allowed to build your own out, whatever, something like this. So I grew up with those and I like that a lot. Kings in the Corner has a kind of similar shedding where you're trying to get all your cards out and lay those patterns down. I like that. We just didn't grow up playing Trick Takers. And so the rest of them, I'm like, yeah, sure, let's play Scout. Let's play the new one, Denup, by the same designer. Like, that sounds interesting to me. It seems like fun. But the times I've tried to play trick-taking games, it's been like running into a brick wall at 60 miles an hour. I'm just like, I don't even know what to do now.
I do agree with you that foundationally they're important because, one of my fondest memories growing up at the beach, there was a summer at the beach. I can't even tell you when it was, but I swear we just played Kings in the Corner and we were down there at Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to think I'm trash.
No.
No, but we would be in one of those houses that you would rent in Windy Hill, and you've got the sandy floors, and and we were all in the kitchen playing these games. Thunderstorm outside. Hey, let's play Kings in the Corner. And it was definitely part of my game foundational vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I look at games now, there's just certain things, and I was like, I've been there, done that. I don't want to do it again.
Sure.
Anyway. I'm just curious.
I mean, if it's got to be, I mean, if all we have is a deck of cards, sure, we'll play, Kings in the Corner or, a gin rummy variant, right? Or cribbage if it's just the two, Laura and I. Cool. But again, it's the trick takers. I'm like, oh man. And so many people they're just like, oh, this is just like spades, or it's like hearts, or it's like, it's got these other, and like, we're going to sit down and I know what I need to do. And I'm like, it's just missing from my vocabulary. It's just kind of funny that way.
But the thing is, we are probably playing games based on those mechanics. And because they have been skinned a certain way, we think it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, and there's that kind of thing. I mean, I think like Arcs, right, has a sort of trick-taking built into the middle of it, right? And we've got Molly House. It has kind of a poker hand thing going on. You're like, right, okay, I see what we're doing here. No, the traditional card games are it's really funny. Sit one in front of me. We did this at a game night with friends months and months ago, and like, okay, here's what you do with these cards. Go. And I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm actually supposed to do. Like, wow, that's weird. I've never seen like vapor lock like that before. I'm like, sorry. If there's a board and stuff and systems that are interacting, I'm like,
boom.
Yeah, go, let's do this. But yeah, the card games, it's just a bit weird that way.
Well, I'll say this and we'll move on. I was reading an article yesterday, I think it was. It was the woman. It was an interview with the woman who has been the casting director for all the James Bond movies for like the last 15 years.
Cool.
And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because she was talking about casting Casino Royale, which was really the James Bond reboot where they bring in the guy that just played the character. He's not my Bond, so I can't remember his name, but oops, folks will figure it out. Anyway, it'll come to me in a minute. But regardless, that's really not important. What's important is they redid Casino Royale because before it was made as a comedy with like David Niven and Allen and all that. So this was really the first true adaptation of the book, Casino Royale. And the casting director, somebody told her that it doesn't really matter how you portrayed the poker playing because nobody ever gets it right and she was like, well, they will this time. And he made every cast member she hired for that movie. She basically said, you are going to learn to play poker.
Wow.
And they were playing poker from the very beginning. and they wanted it to be very realistic because it's such an important. She basically was saying that it is so important because in the book Casino Royale, it is one of the characters, really.
Interesting. Okay.
And by the way, Daniel Craig was the James
There
Bond.
we go. Thank you. Yeah.
2006 to 2021. I don't know why because my Bond is Sean Connery and Roger Moore. That's why. Anyway, but casino, the poker, the game, the card game was such a central character. So just maybe that's a topic for a future podcast. Movies where the game was the central character.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I don't know. Think about it. Anyway. Yeah. Hey, you listeners, do you have a movie out there that depicts a fun game that you would want to talk about on the podcast like that? Send us a note. Okay.
We can do it.
Go to layitonthetable.show and you can send us your information and say, hey, do this. All right. Doesn't have to be personal information. You can just send it. All right. Well, James, you, on the other hand, have had time to play games.
I have.
So let's talk about that.
So I talked last time about, it was very quickly about a couple of games, and I've played both of, at least one of these a lot more. So Space Base.
Yep.
2018 AEG, John D. Clare again, art by Chris Walton, although it's just kind of basic science fiction stuff. Right, so this is from a bit ago, and John D. Clare, we'd played Cupidos a couple of times, so he likes his dice. Not all of his games are dice, but he does like to roll the bones. And this, it feels like it was designed particularly as a response to Machikoro. And I know that, when you first got Machikoro, it was like, oh my God, we're stalling out because we're trying to get all the things out. And then Bright Lights, and then there was a very static card drafting space, right? But then Bright Lights Big City was a little more dynamic. That was great. And other expansions have done really great stuff.
Bad movie.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes, also true.
Bright Lights Big City, bad movie. Yep.
Yep. But Space Base pretty much does everything you ever wanted from the beginning for Machikoro. And so you've got all 12 numbers from 1 to 12 with cards laid out in front of you from the start. So on your turn, you roll your dice and you decide if you want to play them together, right? Or as a pair of singles, so like either a 7 or a 3 and a 4. You get whatever on those cards, buy a new card that replaces that card. But what happens when you do this is the old card gets picked up, flipped around, and reinserted on above that. And that's going to fire off on another player's turn when they roll. If they roll a 3 and you had replaced that 3, you'll get stuff. So you're always seeing what everybody else is doing. And you're watching all of that happen. You're also getting points. It's a race to 40. First person to 40 triggers the end of the game. Play out. Most cards wins, or most points wins. So again, unlike Machikoro, your 12 basic structures are there to start. You roll the 2 dice every time. You have a decision on how you want to do that. The upgraded cards help you build up cash and points so that the game gets moving faster. And you're also kind of thinking about the engine on your board as well as the upgraded card or the reversed cards. So there's 2 different engines that you're kind of balancing, which is nice. It has a 3-tiered market, sort of like Splendor. So there's the very low cost ones, the medium cost ones, the really expensive ones. Then there's a entirely separate market that's just points cards. So you're pretty much always able to buy a card if you want to. Those point cards are great. They freeze that display for that. Like you put that 3-point point card down, then you can't. When you roll a 3 again, you don't get those points. It's just kind of frozen. But it still pushes you up the points. My only hesitation about it is that it's space as a setting. It's fine. If you go on the Geek, people have rethemed it in a variety of ways. And it doesn't help remember actions. If you've got active cards, the active cards are in their sector. And once they've been flipped, they're deployed. Okay. I don't know. All the cards, there's and all of these expansions, because this box back here is with all of the expansions included, and there's just a stack of cards. And they all have names, and there's lots of Easter eggs in the names, which is kind of fun, like famous scientists and the names of famous vessels and so on. And it feels like a lot of trouble for something you just ignore. Kind of feel bad for him. But it beats the hell out of Machikoro, and it moves really quick. Laura and I have had a great time. When you play it 2-player, we've done a variant that the designer has embraced, which is you roll a pair of dummy dice in the middle. So all you're doing is getting those flipped potentially, and that keeps it moving very, very quickly. And so far, Laura has beaten me twice. The first game we ever played, and then last night, and then every game in the middle, whether there's like 4 or 6 of them, I have won. So she was very excited last night to say, "Ha! I finally got one." So,
well, one of the things I like in the description that I guess BGG is that it says it's a game you can just start playing and teach everyone how to play in the first round. And I like games like that where you can just sort of say, you don't worry about the rule book. Trust me, and I will teach you how to play this game.
Yep. So, the iconography is pretty simple, and that's really all that you're doing is like you roll the dice. Do any of them what numbers match? Get that stuff.
Love it.
Yeah, and it really, like, we've just been playing the base game, and it's also a like 2-3 minute setup. Put out the markets, put the cards on your board. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You set a little bit on your board up, and then you're just like, zoom, away you go.
Away you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's yeah, no, I really, really liked it. Yeah, it's been on my to play list for a long time. One of our friends, Bryant from Game Night, was like, "Hey, I brought it. Do you want to just, play it for a while?" So
it's a borrowed game.
It is.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
I should do that more.
It's it's good to have Game Night when people are like, "Hey, no, we've been playing this game for years. You take it, play it for a month, see what you think." And we've also talked about travel, Wingspan, Pocket. I like the cover for Wingspan Pocket. It has a pocket nest on it. That was nicely done, right. Well spotted. Yeah. So we were also playing this little bitty game here, Trailblazers Travel Edition.
Okay.
Also, from 2023, Bitewing Games, designed by Ryan Courtney and art by Seth Lucas. This is set up to travel. It even has a little carabiner on the side. I don't know why, but there it is.
So you can clip it to your belt.
Sure.
What I would do with it, or you put it on your backpack.
Exactly, as a
you can pop it right there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So it is perfectly sized for travel. I mean, it is packed full of all the good stuff. It's a little card-centric puzzle game where you're constructing paths for kayaks, hikes, and bikes, which just has great sounds. Kayaks, hikes, and bikes. Lots of K's and I's.
Like a movie with Steve Martin.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, it is. Planes, trains, automobiles. Yeah, the polka. Yeah.
Works.
But it's so you can. It's like Bandito, but with more. So if you know Bandito. Yep.
100%. You remember my story taking it to Mexico?
Yes. Super good. So it's a pick and pass drafting game, which I also like. And you've got 3 different bases that you start with for the kayak, the hiking, and the biking. And you pick one of those, and then you're passing trails back and forth, and you'll play to pass, finish that hand. You'll put another camp out, pick and pass, and then you'll have all 3 out, and then you'll play one more round after that to try to connect all of the routes. Because you get points, there are shared goals that are like, okay, we want you to have like one big loop, and then you score this goal card. You get points for features that are on your path. Although sometimes those are a little bit weird because, like, is the judge for the kayak points or is it for the bike points? Anyway, there are expansions in the game already. And I think if you get the full-size edition, there's a lot more. If you like spatial puzzles, this is definitely for you. The Travel Edition, again, very friendly. But it's not a game that you could play while traveling. This is not going to fit on a plane. The fold-out trays. The cards proliferate, again, Bandito. Quick to pick up, quick to play, enough challenge to make it satisfying. Another strong recommendation.
Thematically, it speaks to me.
Yeah.
It's got a all the feels of the things that we like. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, and it was funny you were describing it, and of course the initial description you think of like parks and stuff like that. It's got the hiking motif and all that stuff. But then as you were describing it and some of the things, it also kind of reminded me of the game Postcards.
Okay. Yeah.
Bicycles around Europe is the idea behind the Postcards game. I think we talked about it a number of episodes ago.
Yes.
But the way you described it, it sounded a lot like that as well.
And they have friendly ties. So if you both complete the major challenge, on the same round, then you both get the most points, kind of thing. But some of these challenges are just like, that's how on earth is that ever going to happen? And somebody will eventually do it. Laura smoked me the time that we played, so I certainly couldn't get it figured out, but she's feeling good about it. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you just don't hang out in game stores.
So, speaking of borrowing games, and you can see if you've got the visuals, we've got games with stickers behind me. So our library, the Greenville County Library, has board games that you can stop by and pick up. And
we have that in North Carolina too, because I've donated games. So there.
Well, and I think the library system in Mannington, West Virginia, has a better selection of games. But what are you going to do?
Don't tell them that.
Yeah. And there's like Azul and Tsuro and Ticket to Ride. These are good games for folks, right? But they also had, when I visited a couple of weeks ago, Castle Ravenloft.
Ooh.
It's Always Sunny in Barovia. And A Place for All My Books over here. And I was just thinking,
is a relatively new game.
It is. It's a 2025 game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravenloft goes back to 2010.
I remember seeing it at Barnes and Noble.
Yep. And I just am delighted that, of course, the library is like, A Place for All My Books. Of course, we'll have that game. It's super fun. I have not played Ravenloft. It's a big chunk of a game, but I've seen it, thought about it, played Curse of Strahd, and I couldn't have. It's for free. I can just take it home and fondle it in the privacy of. Wait, that got weird.
It got weird really fast.
Yeah, but it's got lots of these amazing sculpts, and I was showing them to Emerson. He's like, "That's a monster. That's another monster." That was super fun. And they've got a whole series of games that are kind of in this world, though it feels like a variant of Betrayal at House on the Hill, except there is a D&D branded variant of House on the Hill, Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. So
yes, there is.
Yes,
very much so.
But it looks like fun, and it looks like it's a dungeon crawl, in a box. So, and the great sculpt. And I can see why, if you were a painter, you'd want to do like some sort of speed paints or something just to dress them up, because otherwise it's white plastic and it's blue plastic and so
that's fair.
And Strahd is having you for dinner, and I just think that's hilarious.
But can you use the minis for your D&D game?
Probably. I don't imagine you couldn't.
Unfortunately, you don't own this game, so you cannot.
No, I cannot. No, because they have lists inside of like, here's everything that should be in the box when you bring it back.
Yeah.
And I also Go
ahead.
So I did play A Place for All My Books, and I made a player aid for it, which is going to go into their box. So although it's not going to be on their list, they're going to look at this and say, "Huh, that's weird." But it's my gift to Greenville County.
Okay, well, you should go down there and be a guest speaker.
That'd be nice, right?
Board games.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, Greenville County.
Damn it. So this is a really sweet little game. Do you know anything about it?
Only that I've seen it in the Barnes and Noble, and I've picked it up a couple of times and not bought it.
Sure. So it's 2025, Smirk and Dagger, Crania Creations. Got Alex Cutler and Michael Mihelsic as the designers. The artist is Nancy Lord, but it's got a really strong Flamecraft vibes to the art. It's super cute.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. The concept here is that you're an introvert building up your social battery so you can go into the village to pick up more books before you head home because your batteries run out, and you're going to organize books in your apartment because that's going to make you happy. but in reality, it's a worker placement game that drives a pattern building core. So
Mhm.
it's a visual pattern once again. Um, the core loop is picking up and distributing books that are already in your apartment. You can go to town and get more. To match patterns, you get these little project cards, and if you can match those up, hooray. Um, the core tension is that you want to both pick up and distribute. Like, I'm going to move these over here, and then I'm going to move them around. You're like, no, you can either do one or the other. So you have to kind of, you're bouncing around doing that kind of thing. And then the fulfilling the project cards is a whole different space. But you can fulfill as many as possible when you activate that. So that's great. You can set out some patterns and then lay down a bunch of those cards. Um, the little project adds to your social battery, makes you feel good,
Right.
right? They
Right.
can give you some rule bending cards called other neat stuff, which is funny. That usually make your life easier by breaking the rules again. And they're also points. And then there are major accomplishments that also they give you more points than the little projects. And then you can go into the village, which immediately draws 5 power off of your battery. It's hilarious. Like, you're going to go to the village? You thought you had a lot of energy? No, you don't.
Not
Just
anymore.
getting outdoors. Then you can get more books at the bookshop or the library. And you'll need those for the projects and the major stuff. And then you can get more other neat stuff cards. It's a sweet little puzzle. It's very cozy. It is very cozy. Much spatial puzzle and worker efficiency puzzle kind of thing that intertwine quite nicely. It's been super cute.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's a game that I've often thought about. I should buy
hmm
this,
hmm
but I'm like, I've only seen it in the Barnes and Noble, so is it real? I mean, I don't want to be like that, but it was almost like that. Hey, Barnes and Noble, we're going to create a
They
game, and we're
bought
going to
it.
put that here.
Well, and I can imagine Smirk and Dagger pitching to Barnes and Noble like, "Hey, you've
Yeah.
got books. Here's a game about getting books."
And I wonder if it was I wonder if it was an exclusive deal because I've never seen the game anywhere else.
Okay.
Now, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It just didn't exist in my local game store, probably because there's a Barnes and Noble right down the street.
Yeah, there's that too.
But I don't know. I'm not suspicious like that, but I think I was a little bit because I was also struck that it wasn't moving.
Interesting.
You know, because when you go in there,
yeah.
like, I would go into the Barnes and Noble and I'd look around. You know, because my wife likes to go to Michael's.
Yeah.
And there's a Barnes and Noble near our Michael's, and I could really care less about walking around the Michael's.
Fair enough.
So I'll go to the Barnes and Noble.
Perfect.
And I look at all their board games, and I make recommendations to people who are like, "We want to play board games. What's really good?" You know, that one sucks.
Right. Yep.
No, don't need to talk about what games I was talking about there, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a podcast. Ha ha ha. I'm an authority. It's not just because I have a microphone and I'm technically proficient.
There you go. But so yeah, but I mean, but I can imagine if you're a random Barnes and Noble person, like, ooh, books, you pick it up, and then you're like, oh, it's a spatial puzzle with the worker placement efficiency puzzle wrapped around it. That doesn't necessarily make you, dive in.
So let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
Because I know I'm making a little fun of it, and that's probably not fair, but I'm gonna step off of that sarcasm for the moment. And so let's say I'm in a Barnes and Noble, I like books, and all of a sudden I see this game about a place for my books, but I'm not a gamer. Could this be an on-ramp for somebody who is not yet in the hobby and is encountering it in a place? Okay, that was my question.
Nope, not really. I mean,
because I've actually, or keep going, and I'll say this comment in a second.
No, because I mean, like, I know people picked up Wingspan for that kind of thing, right? And I feel like Wingspan Pocket is a response to all of this. But we have had friends, neighbors next door, med tech, master's engineer, tried to sit down and play Wingspan. When we sat down with them to play it, they were like, "Oh, that's how that works. I see." And I think this is kind of a similar weight, but it's like, okay, so if you've played this kinds of things, and you're like, okay, my worker has to do this and this, so I have to plan out where I'm going to go here before I go here, and then I use that to organize that stuff. Oh shit, I need these other things here in the village, but I have to, right? So you're thinking about all that kind of stuff. If you've done that before, it's a nice, cozy little game. If you've played Wingspan, you'll be fine with this. if you bounce off of Wingspan going, okay, I tried to read the rules. It's the Mandy Patinkin video, right? Where it's like, okay, I really want to play this, but I cannot figure it out. This is not going to get you over. This is not, as somebody else likes to say, is not going to change your religion.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was curious about that, because I mean, I remember recommending, or not recommend. Yeah, I was in the Wild Bird store.
Cool. Yeah.
And telling the owner about Wingspan and how they should probably think about carrying it in their store. Because I would think if I was a birder, Wingspan would speak to me in a bird store. So I was just curious about the books in a bookstore.
Yeah, and I think, and it plays into the introvert thing clearly. It's part of the pitch, but if you're not used to thinking about efficiency puzzles, you're not used to thinking about the steps that go through a worker placement, and you've only got one worker, right?
Right.
And then you're layering on a spatial puzzle. It's a fair bit. It's still, I don't think it's all that like listed as all that heavy on Board Game Geek.
No,
2.2, right? Yeah. So it's not super heavy if you know this stuff, but if you don't, you're probably going to bounce off it, unless you've got somebody teaching you. But I think on a random grab in Barnes and Noble, just like, oh hey, this looks cool, and look at it and go, oh yeah, no, there's a lot. So I could see why it might not move that much.
Yeah, just kind of curious, because I could see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just always curious about these things, about where where there's an organic on ramp into the hobby.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. As you know, because I love it when hobbies intersect. Kind of like we started this episode with me talking about the gamification of ham radio.
There you go.
I really should just do another podcast on ham radio, but now that I'm not a lazy podcaster anymore. But then it would imply I needed time, and then I felt like that was sustainable, which I'm not sure it is.
Fair enough.
Not that people wouldn't care. It's just that there's plenty of other people out there doing it. I don't think I could do it better than them. Not that I think we do this better than anybody, but
but we're having a good time.
Exactly right, and that's all that matters. It's like we're playing a game and giving people insight into our games.
Yeah,
we got to one night.
Ooh,
live stream.
We could do that too. Playing a place for all my books.
Well, I don't know about
that.
Okay. But it
Wingspan Pocket, though. Yeah.
No, it's funny. I think I mentioned this previously, but it happened again this week. So I've done a number. So I have a real job.
Yes, indeed you do.
I don't get paid for podcasting. I'm involved in IT staffing, which means I get to, put people to work, which is an amazing thing. Help people find, realize their dreams and do cool things and work on cool technology that doesn't drain rivers. But all kidding aside, I've interviewed 2 people in the past few weeks, one of whom was applying for a position in our company, and in the course of the interview they brought up the podcast, because I list on my LinkedIn that I'm a podcaster.
Yes.
And that person got the job, by the way. Had nothing to do with the podcast. All fairness, I don't make the decisions. I interview people and I tell people what I think. And I always try to think about it this way. I'm not there to tell you to hire that person or not hire that person. I'm there to tell you what I think the person's pros and cons are. So if you do decide to hire them, you know what you need to help them with. I don't want to say that they would need, I don't want to say, fix, because everybody's a work in process, right? So needs to sharpen their skills and that sort of thing. But now I'm working on a project for a client and we're trying to find a particular role. And I was interviewing a person this week, and they said to me, I listened to your podcast and I didn't realize I was going to be speaking to a celebrity. I'm like, well, you're not.
Nobody's celebrating us.
They mentioned you as well.
Aww.
I thought, well, that's I appreciated the effort. It was not required in any way, shape, or form. But it's just funny how that it's occurred a couple of times now, and it's just kind of.
Well, and my students do this stuff too. They're like, oh, well, what's out there? What is he, and so, no, I think, it's the 21st century. People are like, no, let me do the Google, let me do the dive. Is there something I can drop into the conversation that's going to make me stand out?
Well, when it shows up in your Rate My Professor, let me know.
I avoid that. I absolutely
Very
avoid
curious.
that. No.
Maybe, all right, everybody, go out and look up James's Rate My Professor, Dr. James Englehart, Furman University, South Carolina.
Man.
Look him up. And
Report back.
If he doesn't have a good review, leave him one.
Yeah. Thank
5
you.
stars.
Stuff the ballot. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Vote early, vote often. Yeah.
Yeah. So James has a PhD and I have a post hole digger. So we both have PhDs.
It's all good.
You know,
Pile higher and deeper.
Tomato,
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomato. I've never understood that. Anyway. Well, this has been a fun and entertaining conversation. I'm actually, you know what? While we were sitting here talking, just so you know, I dropped Trailblazers into the cart, and I think
there you go.
I think I already hit purchase because that one really spoke to me.
Yeah.
Nope. That would be a good game to kind of ease our way back in. I think because I even got the travel edition because I love that idea.
Yeah, and it's
something else.
Yeah.
Something else caught my attention. I'm kind of digging in on it without. I'm not buying it. I'm just looking at it. There was because I was looking it up, and there was a game that came out in 2023 called Trailblazer John Muir Trail.
Oh, huh?
Totally not related.
Yeah. Wow.
And now I'm kind of curious because I have a game about the Appalachian Trail. I've been on the Appalachian Trail. I have John Muir Trail in California is sort of a bucket list kind of thing.
Sure.
We talked about games like Parks and Postcards that speak to us. So I'm just kind of curious. But the fact you haven't heard of that game gives me a little pause. It was kickstarted in 2023.
Okay.
I think it's already got a little bit of an expansion pack, but looks like a pretty game. Just curious. Check it out. I'll check it out.
We'll take that out. Yeah. That sounds good.
So anyway, that's all I got. I am Joe Mahaffey, and I am not bored, but I'm glad to have a construction project almost done, and I'm very happy to get back to board gaming with a ham radio really close by.
That sounds awesome. I am James Englehart, and I hope, as always, that all your tiebreakers break your way.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See y'all.
WinCon, then I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure that out too.
I will have just finished 24 hours of booty. It's not.
Excellent. Yep.
Oh, you think it is? All right. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
In a world of cardboard.